Now, locals living in Khartoum say they have heard explosions near the Sudanese capital today, a day after rapid support forces agreed to a humanitarian truce. Khartoum, currently controlled by the army, has been relatively calm since the military regained control earlier this year. But the RSF have continued to strike both military and civilian areas. The group recently captured Al-Fasher in western Darfur, where hundreds of people were killed and thousands others displaced. I'm now joined from the Port Sudan by Arabiya Correspondent AlMigdad Hassan. AlMigdad, thank you so much for your time this evening. Great to have you on the show. Locals in Khartoum say they have heard explosions near the Sudanese capital today. What more can you tell us?
Thank you, Leigh-Ann. Yes, they are more from the ground here, the latest from the ground. There are many events today by the Arabiya Support Forces. Arabiya Support Forces, RSF, launched several drone attack by suicide drone attack on Khartoum city, especially in Omdurman, one of the main city in the capital. The locals there and our report and our sources there told us that they were hear explosion near power station and near the northern area, which incubate a military base for the Sudanese army. And the anti-craft and anti-missile by the Sudanese army have tried to lie down those drones, and there are many explosions after the suicide drones lie on the ground. Also in the northern state, or in the riverine state, I mean Atbara, the city of Atbara also have showed many and several drone attacks by the Arabiya Support Forces, and also the surface-to-air missiles by the Sudanese army have tried to lie down and shut down those RSF's suicidal drone attack, and there were no casualties. Immediate report to casualties on those city. There are also another confrontation and another suicidal drone attack by the Arabiya Support Forces in the city of Al-Ubaid in North Kordofan, which is one of the main and base stronghold for the Sudanese army in the northern in the North Kordofan state. So when we see those military events escalating day by day, we see that the city of Bara right now is another battleground for the both sides in the upcoming days, because the city of Bara, one of the key town, lie away from a city of Al-Ubaid, about 40 kilometers. So we expect that the city of Bara in the upcoming days will see an event of military event and event of military escalation.
So you just mentioned a few places to me there. Let's talk about it a little bit more, because the RSF did accept a humanitarian ceasefire a day before we saw attacks, like you just told me, on Khartoum, Atbara and Al-Ubaid. How is the army viewing this development and this truce?
The military perspective about what the RSF saying is skeptical, and there is raising tensions and doubts about what they are saying, because the military condition about the truce is for the RSF is to withdraw their troops from the civilians areas, from the area controlled right now in Darfur, and lie their arms down to the Sudanese army. And I think there is many skeptical by experts, by military sources, about this truce can be held on and can be stable. Because when we see that within the past 24 hours that the RSF launches several attacks towards cities controlled by the Sudanese army, and targeting civilians facility and targeting military bases on those cities, and also talking about acceptance of this peace, the military perspective and the military leaders are skeptical about what they are saying. and there are many conditions said in many statements by the Sudanese army leaders, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, that this war is a legitimate for Sudanese people, and they are appealing to defeat the rapid support forces in the upcoming day till they end the war in the country. So there are many experts and the things in the ground doubts that this truce will be held and be stable for the upcoming days.
And let's talk a little bit about the humanitarian situation right now in Western Darfur. How can aid agencies intervene to help ease the dire conditions faced by thousands of displaced people in Sudan? And we've just been talking about how dangerous some areas are.
When we talk about the humanitarian situation on West Darfur region and on the city of Al-Fashir, especially for the aid workers to intervene, such a tragic city that have seen a mass killing by the Arabiya support forces, as the UN-led body Human Rights said, that received horrendous reports about mass killing, about rape, sexual violence, and forcibly displaced personnel from the city of Al-Fashir. We talk about big challenges facing those humanitarian workers and faces UN OCHA itself. UN OCHA called upon RSF to open corridors, to open roads for intervene and alleviate the dire situation for thousands who have been displaced to nearby town Tawila after the RSF take over the city of Al-Fashir. So there are major challenges, concerning challenges toward the UN workers and aid workers about the safety, about their safety, about the supply. The UN must increase their supply for those who have been displaced, to make a suitable shelter, to make a mobile clinic, to make a medical service for those who have been forcibly displaced. And we talk about thousands that right now are in open air in city of Tawila. More than 30,000 have been reaching Tawila in the past few days, and the coordination of refugee in the city and locals told us that there are more than 1.3 million since the war that have been displaced to city of Tawila. So we talk about big challenges towards humanitarian workers and a dire situation. So they need to increase their operation to alleviate the dire situation for those who have been displaced in the past few days.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was brilliant to have you on the show, AlMigdad Hassan. Thank you once again.